There's something special about a good sword fighting game. It's not just about swinging a blade, it's about timing, precision, and that split-second decision that can make or break a fight. Whether it's a chaotic battlefield, a tense one-on-one duel, or a boss that pushes you to your limit, the best sword games demand skill, patience, and fast reflexes. Today, we're looking at 30 of the best sword fighting games that don't just look great, but truly test how quick you are with your hands and your mind. Let's start with Like a Dragon, Ishin. Set in late Edo period Japan, this game mixes RGG Studios' signature storytelling with intense swordplay. You can switch between 4 fighting styles on the fly, from precise katana strikes to chaotic brawling, even mixing in pistols for variety. Combat feels weighty and rewards learning enemy patterns instead of just spamming attacks. The streets are filled with side activities, quirky sub-stories, and moments that break up the serious political drama. Every duel pushes you to react quickly, block at the right time, and punish openings before your opponent recovers. Next is For Honor. This isn't a hack and slash where you just swing until something dies. It's a measured tactical sword fighting game where knowing when to block, feint, and counter is everything. The guard direction system forces you to read your opponent's moves in real time, and the fights are slower but much more deliberate. Whether you're playing a samurai, a knight, or a Viking, every weapon has its own rhythm. The tension in a one-on-one duel can be nerve-wracking, but winning because you outplayed someone's timing feels incredibly rewarding. And next we have Soul Calibur 6, a flashy but deep weapon-based fighter, where each character's style brings something unique to the table. The combat blends fluid movement, sidestepping, and varied combos, but the real test comes from the reversal edge mechanic, which turns close calls into sudden momentum shifts. It's easy to start pulling off cool moves, but at higher levels, reading your opponent's habits is key. With strong single-player content, robust customization, and iconic guest characters like Geralt from The Witcher, it's a solid blend of accessibility and depth.
Want more? It was fun. Adorable.
Next, we have Wolong Fallen Dynasty. This game is relentless. It's built around a deflect system that demands near-perfect timing. Every blocked strike builds your spirit, letting you unleash devastating counterattacks, but mistiming can lead to brutal punishment. Boss fights are where the game shines, mixing fast, unpredictable attack patterns with cinematic martial arts flair. The setting blends Three Kingdoms history with dark fantasy, and while it borrows from Souls-like design, the pace is much faster. Success here isn't about patience alone. It's about sharp reflexes and knowing exactly when to press your advantage. And next we have Way of the Samurai 4, a slower, more deliberate sword-fighting experience where your choices off the battlefield matter just as much as your skill on it. The combat is about reading animations and striking in the small openings you get, with the ability to create your own fighting style by mixing techniques. The branching narrative means your actions can completely change the outcome of the story, so there's pressure both in and out of fights. It's not as polished as modern action games, but its depth and unpredictability keep every encounter tense and engaging. And next on the list is Xuan Yuan Sword 7, a hidden gem from China that blends action RPG combat with a story steeped in history and mythology. The swordplay is smooth but demands awareness. You'll need to dodge, block, and time heavy attacks against enemies that punish sloppy play. The spirit abilities add variety, letting you control the flow of a fight or unleash powerful bursts at the right moment. Environments are stunning, shifting from serene villages to eerie ruins, and the boss encounters are a real test of reaction speed. It's one of those games where pacing yourself and knowing when to commit to a strike is key.
娘啊，没事吧？
阿叔小心。
我宰了你这畜生！
And next is one of my favorite games, Sword and Fairy Together Forever. This series is massive in China, and this entry delivers fluid sword combat mixed with a party-based system. You can swap between characters mid-battle, each with distinct weapon styles and abilities, which keeps encounters fresh. Fights lean on quick dodges, counters, and chaining skills together without leaving yourself open. The lush fantasy setting is filled with mythical creatures and cinematic moments, but underneath all the beauty, the combat can be ruthless if you mistime your moves. It rewards those who stay sharp and adapt to enemy patterns. And next is Hellish Quart, pure no-frills sword dueling at its most authentic. Built with motion capture from real sword fighters, the blade physics feel incredibly real. One clean hit can end the match. There are no health bars or long combo strings. Instead, it's about reading your opponent's stance, predicting their next move, and striking at the perfect moment. Every block, feint, and sidestep matters because one mistake can be fatal. It's tense, grounded, and more about actual sword fighting instincts than memorizing button inputs. And next we have Onimusha, a PlayStation classic that mixes samurai swordplay with supernatural horror. The combat may look simple today, but timing is everything, especially with the Ishin technique. A perfectly timed slash that can instantly kill an enemy. Battles force you to stay calm under pressure, especially when demons crowd you in tight corridors. The atmosphere blends feudal Japan with eerie Resident Evil-like tension, making every encounter feel dangerous. Even after all these years, landing a flawless counter is just as satisfying as it was back in 2001. And next we have Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. This isn't just sword fighting, it's full-scale medieval warfare. You can fight on foot or horseback, switching between one-on-one duels and chaotic battlefield clashes with hundreds of soldiers. The directional combat system makes timing and accuracy vital. Blocking in the wrong direction or swinging too late can mean instant defeat. Managing stamina, distance, and positioning while surrounded keeps your reflexes on high alert. It's the kind of game where surviving a big battle feels like a genuine accomplishment.
Cavalry! After me! Cavalry! Come on!
Next, let's talk about Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. This one's all about speed, precision, and over-the-top blade action. Raiden's sword can literally slice through almost anything, and the blade mode mechanic lets you slow time to cut enemies apart with surgical accuracy. The combat is flashy, but survival depends on mastering perfect parries rather than blocking. Boss fights are a reflex gauntlet with fast, aggressive attack patterns that force you to stay on point. It's chaotic, stylish, and every victory feels earned because you either react instantly or get overwhelmed. And next is Nine Sols, a 2D action platformer with heavy Sekiro vibes. It's built around parries and counterattacks, so button mashing just won't cut it. Enemies hit hard, and the timing window is tight, which makes each successful counter feel impactful. Movement is snappy, with wall jumps and dashes keeping you mobile, but you need to stay aware of enemy tells. The art style is gorgeous, blending cyberpunk and East Asian mythology, but the real hook is how it constantly pushes your reaction speed and timing under pressure. Next on the list is Rise of the Ronin. Team Ninja's take on open-world 19th century Japan offers deep sword combat that borrows from Nioh's stance system while adding more freedom in exploration. Timing-based counters, precise dodges, and stance changes let you adapt to different enemy types. It's slower than Wo Long, but still demands sharp reflexes, especially in duels where one mistake can shift momentum. Between combat, the world is filled with political drama and branching choices, but when swords are drawn, it's all about reading your opponent and acting before they do. And next we have Chivalry 2. This is messy, chaotic medieval combat at its finest. You'll swing wildly in massive 64-player battles, but the skill comes from reading swing arcs, managing stamina, and using feints to trick opponents. In the middle of all the chaos, arrows flying, catapults firing, you'll find intense one-on-one moments where timing a block or landing a counter can turn the tide. It's less about perfect form and more about survival instincts, but those instincts get sharper the more you play. And next we have the amazing Ryse Son of Rome, a cinematic hack and slash that focuses heavily on timing-based executions. While it's not the most complex sword-fighting system, it forces you to watch enemy animations closely to react with the right counter or block. Fights flow between brutal takedowns and defensive positioning, and getting surrounded means you have to quickly prioritize threats. The Roman setting and cinematic presentation make it engaging, but it's your ability to stay alert in the middle of multiple attackers that keeps the combat interesting. And next we have the legendary Elden Ring. From Software's open-world masterpiece gives you more freedom than ever, but the sword combat still demands precision. Whether you're using a colossal blade or a nimble katana, you need to manage stamina, read attack patterns, and commit to strikes at the right moment. Bosses are fast, aggressive, and often deceptive, punishing mistimed dodges or swings. The open world means you can approach challenges in different ways, but when you step into a fight, it's all about reacting under pressure and keeping calm in chaos. And next is one of my favorite games from last year, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This fast-paced action platformer mixes sword combat with acrobatics and time manipulation. You'll chain fluid combos with dodges, parries, and special abilities that reward quick reactions. Enemies hit hard, and boss fights require memorizing attack patterns while staying mobile. It's not just about swinging your sword. Positioning and timing are just as important. The game constantly keeps you on your toes, switching between traversal challenges and intense one-on-one duels that really test your reflexes.
Bear witness.
And next is Samurai Shodown, a fighting game that strips sword combat down to its purest form. Every strike matters here, with huge damage potential and a focus on reading your opponent rather than spamming attacks. The pace is slower than most fighters, but that makes every successful hit or perfect block more rewarding. Matches can be decided in seconds if you overcommit, so staying disciplined and waiting for the right moment is key. It's a test of patience, reactions, and mind games all rolled into one. Next is Devil May Cry. While it's known for flashy combos and style rankings, surviving on higher difficulties is all about sharp timing and situational awareness. Dante's swords offer a mix of quick strikes, launchers, and finishers, but enemies can interrupt you if you're not careful. Dodging, jump canceling, and countering keep the action flowing, but staying stylish means taking risks. And taking risks means reacting faster than your enemies. The game rewards players who can keep aggression high while avoiding damage. And next is Middle-earth: Shadow of War. This game's sword combat is smooth and cinematic, but don't let that fool you. Higher-level orc captains can overwhelm you if you aren't reading their tells. The free-flow combat lets you chain attacks, counters, and finishers, but every battle is about crowd control and staying aware of multiple threats at once. The Nemesis system keeps enemies unpredictable, so no fight plays out the same way twice. Quick reactions to incoming attacks can mean the difference between a clean win and a brutal defeat. Next on the list is Nioh 2. This is one of the most mechanically deep sword fighting games out there. You have multiple stances, weapon skills, and key management to think about, all while enemies hit fast and hard. The window for dodges and counters is tight, so reflexes are tested constantly, especially against bosses with unpredictable patterns. The burst counter system punishes mistimed reactions, but mastering it lets you turn the tables instantly. It's a game that rewards precision, adaptability, and the ability to stay calm under relentless pressure. Next game on the list is Super Fast Ghost Runner 2, a lightning-fast mix of parkour and sword combat where hesitation means instant death. You're constantly wall-running, grappling, and sliding into enemies, and every kill is a single strike, yours or theirs. The challenge comes from chaining movements and attacks without breaking rhythm, reading threats ahead, and reacting to enemy fire while moving at full speed. The game's flow rewards sharp reflexes and split-second decisions more than raw power. It's as much about agility as it is about sword skill.
There's a whole bunch of them ahead. Perhaps you should look for an alternate entrance?
And next we have the genre-defining The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. While the world is massive and story-rich, sword combat here is no afterthought. Geralt's fights require timing for dodges, parries, and counterattacks mixed with signs and bombs to control the flow. Human opponents can punish sloppy play, and monsters demand different approaches depending on their speed and reach. Managing stamina while staying mobile is key, especially on higher difficulties. It's not just about hitting hard, it's about controlling distance, reading enemy tells, and striking when it counts.
On at them! It's fast!
Next we have Dark Souls Trilogy. Few series punish impatience like this one. Every sword swing commits you to a recovery animation, so you need to choose your moments carefully. Shields and rolls give you options, but bosses and skilled invaders can read your patterns and punish you fast. Reflexes are constantly tested by feints, delayed attacks, and mobs that force split-second positioning decisions. The satisfaction comes from knowing every win was earned through discipline and precise timing rather than luck. And next we have Ghost of Tsushima. Combat here is fluid and cinematic, but also brutally unforgiving if you're careless. The stance system forces you to adapt quickly to enemy types, switching between heavy guard breakers and fast counterattacks. Parries and perfect dodges can end fights quickly, but the timing window is tight, especially on higher difficulties. Duels strip away the cinematic flourishes and focus purely on reading and reacting to an opponent's blade work. Every fight feels like a real test of control and focus.
I'll make it quick. We were friends a lifetime ago.
Next on the list is Ninja Gaiden. Known for its relentless pace, this series forces you to be aggressive yet precise. Enemies don't just wait their turn, they swarm, flank, and punish sloppy inputs. Sword combat is fast, combo heavy, and demands constant awareness of your surroundings. Dodges and counters need to be instinctive, and boss fights push your reaction time to the limit. It's a game where surviving even basic encounters feels like an achievement, and mastering the mechanics turns every battle into a controlled storm. Next we have Lies of P, a dark, atmospheric take on action combat that borrows heavily from Souls-like precision. The perfect guard mechanic is crucial, letting you chip away at enemy weapons and open them for heavy punishes. Timing is everything, especially when dealing with unpredictable attack delays. The weapon crafting system adds variety, but no matter what you wield, success comes down to reading enemy animations and reacting instantly. It's stylish, challenging, and rewards those who stay composed under pressure. And next on the list is Kingdom Come Deliverance, one of the most realistic takes on medieval sword fighting. The directional attack and block system forces you to think about angles, distance, and stamina in a way most games don't. It's slower and more methodical than action titles, but duels are intense because a single mistake can drain your health fast. You're not just mashing buttons, you're constantly adjusting footwork, feinting, and looking for an opening. Every fight feels like a genuine contest of skill and patience.
Boyel.
Go ahead and gather your strength. You'll need it.
Go for it!
He'll
rip you to pieces like a dog of hair, boy!
Destroy that fucker! Oh dear.
Shame on Ryse! To the House of Soul!
And next game on this list is Nier Automata. While it mixes swords with acrobatics and gunplay, the combat still demands sharp reflexes. You'll chain fluid combos, dodge through attacks, and counter at the perfect moment to keep your momentum. The game constantly shifts between melee and ranged, so situational awareness is key. Bosses throw out massive, screen-filling patterns that require quick reads and confident positioning. It's a fast, stylish experience that still manages to keep you engaged through precise, timing-based swordplay.
Sword. Dodge. Projectile. Deflect.
I think he's evolving. We better finish this quick.
And final game on the list is the best of all, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, a pure test of reflexes and mental endurance. Combat revolves around parrying rather than dodging, with posture battles turning every duel into a high-stakes exchange of blows. The timing window is strict, and bosses can chain attacks with deceptive rhythm, forcing you to react instinctively. There's no hiding behind shields or heavy armor. Victory comes only from matching your opponent's speed and breaking their guard. It's one of the most demanding and rewarding sword fighting systems ever made. And that's our list of 30 sword fighting games that truly push your reflexes to the limit. Some focus on realism, others go for style, but they all share that same core challenge, reading your opponent and reacting at just the right moment. If you've played any of these, you know how satisfying it feels to land that perfect strike. And if you haven't, maybe it's time to test your skills. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.